Close your eyes for a moment and touch your nose. Pretty easy, right? You didn't need your eyes, a mirror, or even a bit of luck. Your body just knew what to do. That little certainty is just the first clue on a journey through the hidden superpowers most of us don't even know we have. Forget the old school list of 5 senses. Modern science tells us we've got at least 15, and some researchers claim it's over 30 if you're picky about definitions. Today, we're diving into 10 of the most astonishing, comic book-worthy abilities that are already working their magic inside you. No radioactive spiders needed. You can sense pain before it even breaks the skin, balance on one foot without wobbling, feel your blood sugar shift, and even guess the season without peeking at a calendar. These aren't just cool party tricks. They're evolutionary upgrades quietly humming along while you binge-watch your favorite shows or scroll through social media. Stick around until the end, and you'll discover the one sense that researchers still can't fully understand, the one that might connect your gut feelings to your gut bacteria. Ready to meet the rest of your super team? Proprioception is what lets you high-five in the dark or walk without constantly staring at your feet. Receptors in your muscles, tendons, and joints send your brain constant updates, creating a 3D map of your body. If you lost that map, you'd have to watch your arm the way a drunk driver watches the white line. Fun fact: some elite athletes have a genetic edge with denser receptor arrays, giving them freakish coordination and earning them the nickname kinesic prodigies in sports labs. We all know the feeling of spinning in circles and then having the room spin for a few seconds afterwards. But did you know that this sensation is actually due to some superpower liquid physics in your inner ear? There's a fluid in your inner ear that sloshes around in response to movement. And this fluid contains tiny little hairs that sense the direction and speed of that movement. So when you spin around, the fluid keeps moving even after you stop, and your brain interprets that movement as spinning, even though you're not actually moving. This superpower liquid is part of your vestibular system, which is responsible for your sense of balance and spatial orientation. So next time you're feeling a little dizzy, just remember it's all thanks to the amazing physics of your superpower liquid. Nociception is the ability to feel pain. We have special receptors in our skin, muscles, and organs that detect potentially harmful things like extreme temperatures, pressure, or chemicals, and send signals to our brain to protect us from further harm. Did you know that some people have a higher tolerance for pain than others? Researchers have found that this can be due to genetic factors as well as psychological ones, like how much attention a person pays to their pain. And here's another crazy fact. There are some parts of our body that cannot feel pain, like our brain. That's because pain is actually projected onto a map in our brain. And since our brain doesn't have any pain receptors itself, surgeons can operate on patients while they're wide awake. Imagine being able to get surgery without even needing an anesthetic. Now that's a superpower. Thermoception is the ability to sense temperature. We have special receptors in our skin and internal organs that detect changes in temperature and send signals to our brain. For example, when you step into a cold pool, these receptors in your skin sense the temperature change and send a signal to your brain, which then tells your body to shiver and raise its temperature. Now here's a fun fact. Our thermoceptors react more to changes in temperature rather than the absolute temperature. So you're more likely to feel a difference between 70 degrees and 75 degrees Fahrenheit than between 60 degrees and 65 degrees. In other words, our superpower liquid is more sensitive to change than to absolutes. Interoception is the ability to feel what's going on inside your body. It's like having a personal assistant who's always telling you your heartbeat, your breathing, your digestion, and much more. And the craziest part is that it's actually possible to train this superpower. Studies show that mindfulness meditation can increase the sensitivity of your interoceptive system in as little as 8 weeks. So if you want to become a master of your body, start meditating. When we think of hunger, we usually think of an empty stomach or a rumbling tummy. But did you know that there's actually a group of special cells in our brains that control our hunger? These cells are located in the hypothalamus, and they work like a team to keep track of how much energy we have stored in our bodies. They check out the amount of nutrients in our blood, like glucose and amino acids, as well as hormones that tell us if we've eaten recently. For example, leptin tells us we're full and satisfied, while ghrelin tells us we're hungry and need to eat something. Amazingly, these cells can send signals to our brains that make us feel hungry, long before our stomachs are actually empty. That's why sometimes you can be in the middle of a meal and still feel hungry for more. Proprioception is the ability to perceive the passage of time, and it's not a single sense, but a network of multiple systems in our body that work together to give us a sense of the present, past, and future. These systems include our biological clocks, which are located in our brains and other parts of our body and help us keep track of the 24-hour day-night cycle. They also include our memory systems, which allow us to remember past events and compare them to the present. Finally, they include our motor systems, which allow us to plan for the future by imagining what might happen next and preparing accordingly. It's a fascinating process and one that scientists are still trying to fully understand. Kinesthesia is the ability to sense movement. We have special receptors in our muscles and joints that detect even the slightest movement and send signals to our brain. But how does this relate to our everyday lives? Well, imagine you're playing a musical instrument. Your fingers move across the keys or strings in ways that you don't even consciously think about. This is thanks to your kinesthetic sense, which allows you to make those precise movements without having to think about them or consider the way you walk. When you take a step, your foot lands on the ground, and you shift your weight and balance yourself without even realizing it. This is all thanks to your kinesthetic sense, which allows you to move through space with grace and ease. Magnetoreception is the ability to sense magnetic fields. While many animals such as birds and turtles use magnetoreception to navigate over long distances, humans have long been thought to lack this ability. However, recent research suggests that humans may possess a weak form of magnetoreception that helps them sense the Earth's magnetic field and maintain their sense of direction. One way humans may sense magnetic fields is through the detection of subtle changes in light by special cells in the retina, called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells. These cells are sensitive to magnetic fields and changes in light intensity and can send signals to the brain that help us maintain our sense of direction. Another way humans may sense magnetic fields is through the alignment of magnetic particles in the tissues of the inner ear. These particles are thought to interact with the Earth's magnetic field and provide a sense of direction to the brain. While the exact mechanisms by which humans sense magnetic fields are still being investigated, evidence suggests that we may have a weak form of magnetoreception that helps us navigate and maintain our sense of direction. Social chemosensing is the ability to detect and respond to chemical cues released by other people. Humans release a variety of chemicals, including auxiliary steroids, which convey information about fear, happiness, and even genetic compatibility. In one study, women were asked to rate the scent of t-shirts worn by men. The women were most attracted to the scent of t-shirts worn by men with a different immune system than their own, suggesting that social chemosensing may play a role in mate selection. Another study showed that people could detect fear in others by simply smelling their sweat. This is because people who are fearful release more adrenaline, which makes them sweat more and produce a distinct odor. By sniffing these chemicals, we can often tell how someone is feeling, or even figure out some details about their immune system and genetic compatibility. This sense is essential for social interactions and can help us build relationships with others. So which of these superpowers impressed you the most? Were you surprised by the ones you didn't know you had? If you're blown away by your body's capabilities, show your support so more people can learn about these incredible abilities. Comment below with the sense you'd like us to explore next, and subscribe for weekly dives into the amazing world of human biology. Thanks for watching.